In astrophysics, they say there's a seed that is the only thing that is not, that is in this, the only thing that's in this universe that's not of this universe, is from the outside known universe. And when that seed manifests itself, it will explode everything on this planet and destroy the universe, and we'll go back to the original existence. If any man came saying he was the Christ, he couldn't have been the real one. Because what Paul and them...
Okay, this is where, first of all, this is Chief Ironbush. Glad tidings to all that watch this video. Now, this is one of the only disagreements I have with Elder Bobby in this quick message. He said if any man came and said he was the Christ, that he wasn't, because the known universe, the demiurge creation, would have been no more. But this is false, because it's about agreement, and everyone that has a soul has the same christic seed in them that who we call the Christ had. Meaning, it's not about one being, it's about enough of us coming into agreement to have the power of manifestation to create a cord that cannot be broken. That's when the demiurgic creation will cease to exist. Not off of one being. There's been more than one being that has reached Christ consciousness throughout linear time. But we have to be on the A-tone frequency, the atonement, the alpha tone of the mind, and it has to be a large enough group of us to manifest the will of the origin of that seed that he is speaking of.
Was trying to get the monopoly on the Christ that everybody in the world had.
So he said Paul was, what they were trying to do was get the monopoly on the Christ story, because everyone in the world had the messianic story before Christ, before the person that most called Jesus, Yeshua, Yahweh, Yahawashai, Yahushua, Yahusha, whatever you call him, Emmanuel, Emmanuel, the being that most called Jesus. What they did was, the people in that area tried to get the monopoly on it and said, no, only we got the true Christ, so the whole world got to follow us. So listen to what he said.
It is irrational for a Japanese man to worship a Jewish savior. It is irrational for a blue-black African to worship a white man. Just as it's irrational for an Eskimo to worship a black man, where everybody in their mythology got the same Christ. In the Gospel of Thomas, he says, they say, Christ.
So, first of all, irrational and rational, that's when you're speaking of something outside of this universe, you gotta throw rationality out the window. So that's a little folly right there. It may be set up that an Eskimo is supposed to, first of all, the Christ never asked for worship. That's number one. That was the thing in the beginning of the Bible, that was asking for blood and worship and money and this and that, and telling people to rape women and steal women and take land and this and that. That was that being. The Christ never asked for worship. Matter of fact, he actually told him not to. He even told him, don't pray to me. Okay? Not in those words. It's in etymology. You have to dive into the teachings to get the truth. But the Christ never asked for worship. But when it comes to rationality, to when you're speaking of something that exists outside of time, something that we really don't have a full concept of while we're here on this plane, you gotta throw that out the window. because the plan could be for the Eskimo to have a black savior, and for the dark, the very, very dark skinned black man to have a white savior. Why? Because now you're truly loving others as you love yourself. You're crossing and defeating all barriers. So you gotta throw that out the window. But I get what he's saying. And the fact of the matter is, every people had the same story. They just didn't use the same words. Okay? But it was essentially, it's the same story. Greater is he or she that is within you, the energy that is within you, than the he, she, it that is within the world. That's what it all boils down to. And that we all are connected, and what you do unto your brother, sister, neighbor, you do unto yourself. And you're gonna judge yourself, and your brothers and sisters and neighbors are gonna judge you too. Same way you will judge them. That's why it says the way you forgive others, the way you're gonna be forgiven. The way you judge others is the way you're gonna be judged. Therefore, you better walk light when it comes to this topic, because this is the topic of eternity. Not just the topic of, your electric getting cut off.
Tell us what kind of diet you want us to go on. He said, don't lie. Why do what you hate? Blessed is the man who eats the lion. Then the lion becomes a part of the man. Cursed is the man to get eaten by the lion, and a man becomes a part of the lion.
So what does that mean? He said, blessed is the man that eats the lion, and the lion becomes part of the man. The lion represents the beast in you, your lower self, what people call Satan. It's the ego. So blessed is the man that eats the lion, and the lion, the ego, becomes a part of them, and you can subdue that beast that's in you. You have tamed the beast. You have tamed your lower self. But cursed is the man with the lion eats the man, and the man becomes part of the lion. Meaning your ego eats your soul, your spirit. Your ego takes over your name, the name that you go by right now, and who the world has told you are, who your parents, who everybody has told you are, your teachers, your college degrees, your job, the amount of money, the car you got in your driveway, the square footage in your house, all are aspects of who you think you are. If you think that's who you are, then that means you have been swallowed by the lion and became part of the lion, instead of you eating a piece of the lion and the lion becoming part of you. Okay, that's the difference between being in the world and not of the world. It's Chief Ironbush. Love you.